just enough to wake everybody up. So what I am doing right now is I am making corners that will go basically above these here, these two, and then I will make one in the bottom, and I think that will be enough with like the 4 holding points, especially since these corners will be a little bit bigger. Let me bend this, see how it fits. It fits very good, so it is a 90-degree one. There we go. No, this will be a pendant. And what I'm doing right now is the distance. So this is basically the back plating, the back plate. And I am basically making the distance holders for in between here so that you can pull your chain through and it hangs. And it's also will give a little bit buffer so that the movement does not block when you're wearing it. So that is, at least that's the plan. The plan. Do you all want to see the new party? I can actually trigger the new party just manually. Or do you want it to be a surprise? How does gold work? Actually, you work with gold plate. I work with silver just because of the price. Working with gold is a little bit easier sometimes. I do not work with gold plating since that involves quite a bit of chemicals, and you should have a separate room for that, which I do not have. So that's not something that is in my possibilities right now. I have worked with it though, like in a different workshop. So working with gold is very similar to working with silver in means of techniques and everything, like filing, sewing. Soldering is a little bit different. Depending on what you do, soldering is easier with gold because gold does not transfer as much heat and does not lose as much heat to the surroundings as silver does. So, like, it's a little bit different, but it's mostly the same. Well, Scrap Metal Dragon, haven't you already asked that question? No, actually not. So it depends on the alloy. We do not work with, usually we do not work with fine silver or fine gold. I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it wasn't you. So usually we do not work with the fine metals. We work with alloys, which means that we mix into the gold and silver some other metals. In silver, sterling silver is just mixed with copper. So it's 92.5% silver and the rest is copper usually. And with gold, we usually mix in silver and copper. And that is also what gives us the color range of gold between yellow gold, pale yellow gold, and red gold, like rosy. It depends on how much copper or silver there is. The more copper there is, the redder is the gold. It is advisable, however, to mix in at least a little bit of silver because it makes like the gold a lot more movable, bendable. a lot easier to work with. And also how soft the gold is depends on how much gold there is compared to other metals. So the hardest gold, I think, is the 585, which is 14 karat gold. In like I think it was the yellow color that is very strong, like slightly going already into red, but not rosé yet. I think that was the hardest one. There are charts for this. And yeah, that is how it works. And usually you can order different alloys. Like there are a little bit of other additives in the metals, very, very small ones, just to make the workability different. It really depends on where you get your material from. You can also get just the pure metals and mix them together. For example, if you are looking for a specific gold color, it may be advisable for you to mix your own batch and write it down. No idea of gold and silver? Well, now you do. You do have some idea. Ooh. Ugh. Just trying to file them to the same size. The vibrations make very interesting noises. There is also a thing that is white gold. It is not gold mixed with only silver, surprisingly enough. Gold mixed only with silver gives you a greenish color, actually. Hi, Pudding Tater, how are you? White gold that we use nowadays is most of the times gold mixed with platinum or palladium, which gives it its color. And before that, that alloy was kind of, it's like being more popular and popular because it contains no nickel. And that is how white gold was like previously, before we started using that alloy, is that it had nickel in it and it gave it this white color. So the palladium gold, for example, is a little bit more grayish. You still have the child-sized brass knuckles you made with your grandpa. You know, it sounds like you had an amazing grandpa. Give the child some self-made brass knuckles. Doesn't sound too bad, actually. There we go. I just am filing down the sides here so that they are flat and I can solder them on properly. I'll do this from both sides. Amazing ones who missed the man. Yeah, that sounds like an amazing grandpa. Okay, I'm kind of on, I do think I need to solder it to here first and then solder it onto the main part. I'm kind of I don't know about this. I don't think that there is a good decision about which part should go on where first, because I have so many solder lines here anyways, that I don't think it usually, like, it will matter that much. I think when I'm soldering both of them together, I think I will be taking the middle solder so that nothing melts away too much. There are different solder temperatures. Basically, exactly for this reason. When you have work that is a little bit more complicated and you have more soldering points, you do not want them to flow apart when you heat up your metal again. So what you do is you take a solder that has a lower soldering point, like a lower melting point, and it helps a lot. And here I will basically have to heat up both of the parts very much. Notice one of the roller was chipped, and if you continue to dismantle it, you wouldn't be able to put it back together, so you had to reassemble everything. Oh my god. That does not sound good. Also, like the chip thing. Do you know where to get a spare part? The brass knuckle grandpa sounds awesome, yes. I am very happy that you agree with me that brass knuckle grandpa sounds awesome. It will be okay like this, but then you will never be able to do the wire thing again, are you? You're the best. You know that. You'll buy a wire roller. Buy something decent. That's all. That's something you always tell me. If you have a little bit of money spared over, just buy this machine for 600, 2,000 euros. Also, that's like not little. Yeah, just buy the Pools graver. You don't even have the money for the mill yet, yeah. Yeah, I had a very, very good month, thankfully. Now does this, I think this is also 90 degrees, or around 90 degrees at least. No, 2,600 euros, I meant. Basic salad sandwich. You get one of those, okay. As long as it doesn't chip on you again, I guess you will be fine. All the YouTubers are sponsored. Yeah, I think that's their thing. As I was looking up Vevor to see what kind of company they actually are, because I did get a tool from them. It looked like a lot of, like, yeah, they did a lot of marketing over YouTube. I did find an air graver, by the way, from a Swiss company. I do not know how good it is, so I'm kind of like, eh. From a Swiss company that also is like as the GRS graver, but it has a built-in compressor and it costs only half the price. How do you buy the silver? Is it like bars? No. So you can buy, well, You can buy bars of silver too. No, I have a foundry that special, like, there are foundries where you can buy pre-made material. So basically, I can show it to you. Let's say post graver, the rest is not really worth it. So I buy, for example, sheets of material. You can also buy granules and you just melt them down yourself and pour them and make ingots and then make them into sheets. But these are like sheets that I buy usually. So I buy them in different sizes. And you can also buy wire. I usually do buy wire if I need material, like if I have a lot of scraps, I will send them in, you know, kind of exchange that for fresh material. But what I also do with my scraps is I make bars and then I make wire out of them. So for example, this is a bar, which is, I think this one is 40 grams probably. I want to roll this one flat though and make like a sheet out of it and then make bracelets. And you can like roll it down, work with it, roll it down, flatten it out, or pull wire out of it. My mill is not very friendly for making sheets. It has no reduction gears, so I would need a lot of power for that. That's why I do not do my own sheets, basically. And also, I find that the sheets that you do yourself or sometimes come out wobbly. Just, you know, just because of how it is. But I think that also depends on probably on your mill and how you're working. I think with time, if I would make sheets more often, it would be better. Of course, if you have any more questions, just feel free to ask away. Gives me a possibility to talk about a thing I really love. You can also buy granules from foundries and just of like pure silver, for example, and melt them down with copper yourself. A lot of people do that. Yeah. So the foundry material is usually a little bit more like the foundry has basically very controlled environment when they pour material. So like they get consistently good results. For example, when I make stuff, depending on the pour, like I could mess the pour up. So it basically, like if you have a very large turnaround of jewelry, like if you are working constantly, if your time is worth a lot, you are better off buying pre-made material. Except maybe for like every size of wire. I would say that you need like some wire and then you can pull it down to the size that you need. And I would also say that if you work a lot with gold, it still probably is better to melt it out on your own. I understood that one, basic salad sandwich. Yeah, she does not like making sheets of metal. But yeah, I want to, that bar is like pretty thick that I showed you. I usually, when I make wire, I usually make them a little bit smaller so that I do not have that much work to do. And that one, I thought I could mill it down into a big piece and then cut like parts out for a bracelet or a chain and make that happen. I would very much like to do that. I would need a design for it. So that idea will probably sit with me for another half a year until I finally decide what I want to do. Just filing these down to the right size. So it's the same size on the right and on the left. Okay. So what do we have now? We have these two, which look good. A lot of squeaky noises we have here today. So we have these, all of these. I should probably stamp this right before I solder it, right? Yeah. I am very much enjoying my new tweezers and pliers. Not pliers, they're only tweezers. Not by any pliers. Squeaky. Yeah. The files today are really squeaky. The parts are small. There we go. So this will look like that. Stamp. 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 Yes, let's stamp before I go any further. You are absolutely right. Let's try out our new stamp. Now, where is the top? Hi, do. Do you want to say hi? There we have it. Dismembered hand. Yeah, I will definitely be
Hello, friend.
moving the camera around. I do think I have to put it on top of, you know, well, not on top of the monitor, but hanging down, because I cannot put it on top of the monitor because of the shaking.
Am I still headless here? Yes, I'm still headless.
Oh,
Hi, internet people.
that felt really good. I think this temp is fine. Still a little bit tilted.
Meows for a treat. I have Danish butter cookies. Mm. Very delicious.
Kann ich Ihnen irgendwie helfen?
I'm procrastinating. I'm a little bit frustrated with the stupid latex.
Oh, you probably should explain that you mean the math kind of latex and not. I think you should probably explain that you mean the math kind of latex and not the fun time
Tape.
latex. No, never. Yeah, because of caramel dancing. Kannst du bitte nicht hinter mir stehen? Du machst mich nervös.
Five. I got kicked
It
out.
makes me nervous. Yeah, and I want to solder. Meow louder and more often. Of course, of course. I already see a lot of cussing in my future. Where did the parts go? Oh, there they are. Yeah, I see a lot of cussing in my future. I should probably clamp all of this down, right? Oh, I do not have enough clamps for this. It's frustrating. This is sterling silver. Nickel-free sterling silver. Let's do some clamps. Let's make some clamps. You know what? I need to make some clamps. Let's see. Will this be enough as a clamp? Probably. Okay, let's make some clamps. Oh no. Have you clipped everything? I think I will take the 0.8 material, however, and this is exactly why I bought these. So the clamps will be made. This is titanium, by the way. It disappeared. So this is titanium, and I will just mark off a line. And is this the 0.8 material, or is this the one? 0.8, wonderful. And we will just saw through these and make some wonderful clamps. You don't like a lot of stuff you want to clip? This will be a lengthy process. Ducks, 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 ducks.
Ducks on the surface, it seems so nice.